Hi, in this video we're going to go through the steps of changing the front brakes and rotors on a 2002 Toyota Camry or Lexus ES300. The first step is to jack up the car, secure it with chocks and jack stands, and remove the lug nuts. Remove the front tire from the vehicle. Then use a 17mm socket to remove the brake caliper bracket. Remove the two bolts. Then, slide the caliper and bracket off of the brake rotor. Don't put stress on the brake line. Hang the caliper from a caliper hook or set it on something. I used a log from the wood pile. Usually the rotor is rusted onto the hub. If it doesn't come off with a few love taps, use a metric bolt from the brake line retainer. Tighten the bolt into one of the two holes on the rotor to force the rotor off of the hub. This rotor was due for replacement. Next, remove the old brake pads. Before removing the brake pad closest to the brake cylinder, use a large C-clamp to compress the cylinder. This will make it easier to fit in the new, thicker brake pads. Once the cylinder is compressed, remove the other old brake pad. I ordered a new set of brake pads and rotors made by Goodyear. I'm not sponsored by them, I just think they're really good pads and rotors and I highly recommend them. I'll put a link to these in the description below. Next, separate the caliper from the caliper bracket using a 14mm socket and remove the two bolts. If the pin just spins, secure it with a 17mm wrench. These slide pins were nearly seized. It's a good idea to remove, clean, and lubricate the pins. Pull the pin out of the boot. Note that the pin with the rubber bushing goes on the bottom. Clean the pin off and apply some caliper grease to it. Then, reinsert the pin. Make sure the rubber boot fits over the lip. It should glide freely. Repeat these steps for the other caliper pin. Next, remove the old slide support clips. Clean out the grooves, then install the new clips that came with the new brake pads. Repeat for the top clip as well. Once the slide clips are installed, apply a small amount of caliper grease to the slides. Now you can install the new rotor. Put on one or two lug nuts to hold it in place while you install the caliper bracket. Reinstall the caliper bracket using the two 17mm bolts, one on the top and the other on the bottom. Tighten these bolts to 79 foot-pounds. Next, install the wear indicator clip onto the groove in the new brake pad. From here, you're ready to install the brake pads. It works well to start at the bottom ear and then fit in the top. Press it into place. Put the other brake pad on as well, starting with the bottom and then fitting in the top. Next, apply a bit of caliper grease to the outside of the two brake pads to limit squeaking. Now, fit the caliper back into place. Reinstall the 14mm bolts, both top and bottom. Torque these bolts to 25 foot-pounds. With the caliper and bracket installed, go ahead and remove the two lug nuts holding the rotor on. Put the tire back on, tighten the lug nuts to 76 foot-pounds. Be sure to go inside the car and pump the brakes several times until you feel resistance to extend the brake piston. If you found this helpful, please subscribe and click the thumbs up.